How is it that I somehow haven't talked about Free Company Militia yet? Yeah, somehow on this unit highlight series I have not talked about these guys. Free Company Militia, a unit that's very near and dear to my heart. This replay from SpudHouse. He's up against Nils. I believe this is a round 2 Warhammer World Championship replay. So we've got Karl Franz here, a couple of mounted pistoliers, a couple of Knights of the Blazing Sun, Spearmen, Sigmar's Sons, 2 Free Company, a healer, and a Firecaster. Norska, Wulfric the Wanderer on his Mammoth here. Got some Berserkers, a couple armored Skinwolves, Miss Stalkers, Regiment Renowned Famir, pretty good in this matchup. Got some Marauders as well, Ice Wolves, and of course, yeah, the Horsemen as mentioned. So Free Company. This is nice because we have some Pistoliers here to confirm, but let's go ahead and take a look at Free Company in terms of missile damage. They've got 2 AP, 12 base missile damage, 8.1 second reload. Keep in mind, 90 unit models on them. The reason you don't see them as often as you perhaps should is because Empire has so many range tools in terms of infantry. You know, they don't have the range of crossbowmen or the arc of fire. They don't have the straight-up DPS of handgunners, but what they do have is, you know, kind of serviceable melee stats, 28 attack, 25 defense, 28 weapon strength, comparable to like a 300 cost low-tier infantry. Basically, you add 150 points for that shooting attack, which is definitely not too bad. Yeah, someone was saying, by the way, in the comments, if I just click the unit, it'll keep the unit card up there. That's not actually how replays work, but okay, thanks, guy. Anyway, but the Free Company there, yeah, they 90 range. Pistoliers, 80 range on them. They have kind of dual DPS. Franz takes a risky dive. I'm not sure exactly what he dived at here, but gets caught up in Ice Wolves. The Pistoliers are going to move the screen. You can see them firing their shots here. Yeah, 38. Again, 13 base, 2 AP, but instead it's 2 shots per volley, right? Because they're dual wielding. 45 times 2 is 90. So yeah, same volume of fire on paper at least. Free Company Militia plus Pistoliers. If we take an overarching look, you can see the Norskins' front line has made contact. They're going to reasonably dodge that burning head there. Does friendly roast one of those Empire Spearmen a little bit. Nice little dodge. Did clip the one Marauder pretty significantly, but over here, another big pitched engagement. Franz super low at this point. Balance of power going to be way down on the Empire because of that. But yeah, Franz barely squealing away with less than 1,000 HP. Knights of the Blazing Sun and Pistoliers were able to bail him out in time. Also, really nice charge from the Knights of the Blazing Sun here on Armored Skinwolves. You definitely want the armor. It does help resist some of the damage from the Knights there, but even still, that is going to be a brutal open field position to be in. With the centers breaking for the Empire, obviously State Troop Spearmen can't really hold against this kind of assault. So the Free Company, they're going to line up here, start to form up and pop some shots into the Mist Stalkers. Mist Stalkers do have pretty heavy armor, but 2 AP per shot on 90 unit models in total. Not too bad. That's what, 180 AP. I mean, they have a little bit of missile resistance as well, but not enough to really affect that damage calculation, right? So anyway, Franz taking some more javelins, and you can see the Overwatch fire now being put on the Marauder Horsemen as well to get rid of said javelins. Definitely a smart play. Mist Stalkers are also a high-value target to shoot at. It looks like this. Free Company might actually be getting some shots in there, yeah, just kind of by happenstance. Another Burning Head going to be used to roast out some Marauders. Check in with the Knights here. They're a little caught up in the Skinwolves. Wulfric also came over to support, along with the Berserkers, and turned out to be a kind of a bad engagement for them. But they did catch out the Shaman Sorcerer Lore of Metal here. He gets surrounded and just circle beaten. He's going to call some Searing Doom, which is really good against cavalry. You can see the excellent damage there against those Knights of the Blazing Sun. And yeah, so far, Free Company continuing to kite and fight. Rest of the Empire mobile forces, we've still got quite a few Pistoliers here. Some Knights of the Blazing Sun coming back, having been routed, but Wulfric still very healthy at this point. 70 armor is pretty good, but it's low enough that the Free Company will still be getting a pretty consistent amount of damage, you know, besides their AP. But Franz squealing away from danger. The 2 casters come in here to hold the center. And yeah, Pistoliers setting up beautiful firing arc on the one side. Got these Free Company here on the other side. Marauders are going to get into combat here, but this tattered unit of Marauders is actually something that the Free Company won't be too bad at fighting. And a nice little rear charge from these Empire Spearmen allows the Free Company to then pull away a little bit. SpudHouse doing a good job not letting these Free Company get caught. Those rallied Knights come back, manage to catch some Armored Skinwolves here with the support of the Pistoliers. That's going to be a quick rout there. The 2 casters getting absolutely mauled by Wulfric, but still buying some time for the rest of this army to come in. Again, Knights of the Blazing Sun out on the periphery, cleaning up another unit of Skin Wolves there. A really nice interaction. Actually, this specific interaction of Knights of the Blazing Sun versus Norska is one of the first things I ever featured on my channel, believe it or not, back in the day. The discussion about, I can't remember who it was at the time, I think it was maybe Robin. Player's not really around, maybe he's still around, I don't know, I don't see him around much anymore, but anyway, had the discussion with him in the comments section of one of Turret's videos about how, or maybe it was Arab Carthage even, about how fire damage is good against Norska and how it's pretty significant to beat Skin Wolves. And how, especially Kindle Flame plus the fire damage, you know, that Knights of the Blazing Sun have innately is just like a hard counter straight up. And, yeah, he didn't see that as the case. But, anyway, that's history. One of the reasons I decided to start my channel was because I wanted to be able to more concisely and kind of, I don't know, more clearly explain my position visually with replays, and besides the fact that I just wanted to cast my own replays. We're kind of getting in the weeds a little bit here. Free Company Militia kiting away. So far, they haven't got too much damage value. This one's just about paid for itself there. This one, not quite. But let's watch for them to get a potential opportunity to open up as they kind of kite here. Empire cleaning up some more peripheral forces. Pistoliers coming back over to unleash a few more shots. Norska, in this situation, they're doing more or less what they should, which is just to stay tight, keep all your units together. You know, it's not like you can really pursue that hard. As per band rules, you could actually choose to stand and get shot, but or you could choose to pursue, you know, various opponents' targets. Anyway, Free Company Militia, 36 speed, are pretty tired at this point as well, so they likely are going to get caught by some of these various units. But Wulfric throws a Sea Fang there. That will proc Frostbite, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously, but it does proc Frostbite. For those of you who didn't know, that puts them down significantly. So this Free Company might actually get caught here. A little bit of Searing Doom going after the Pistoliers as well. Well, let's fast forward a little bit through this late game as finally the Free Company start to, you know, kind of return some fire. And very, very quickly against a big target like Wulfric, they'll pay for themselves. Able to rack up some really nice value. One of them just straight up terror outs. And that, it should be said, one downside of Free Company is their leadership is not great, especially for an Empire unit, but only 100 points more than archers, and they definitely give you a lot more, I would say even more range power than archers, and more melee power as well. The Unimodels is nice. They have Vanguard, of course, as well. They can fire on the move, although they can't fire 360. This unit scooting away from the Searing Doom there, or unleashing a few more volleys. Use cases for them. Norska is an interesting one. I wouldn't necessarily always think to use them here, but I guess it does make sense. Like, you don't necessarily need the most armor-piercing missiles against Norska, and their kind of serviceable stats at fighting something like Hounds or Marauders definitely comes in handy. Franz goes for a nice hit-and-run charge there. Hunter of Champions going to be used on him. Plague of Rust as well, down to only 40 armor. So these Berserkers actually, with their 50 overall weapon strength, 59 weapon damage in total, will be punching Karl quite hard, even though they're anti-infantry units, so he nopes out of there. Another Searing Doom disrupting these Free Company, but this time they stay solid shooting. I get some nice DPS. Let's check back in on the damage valuation there. Yeah, up to 640. So these guys have absolutely paid for themselves in terms of ranged poke. And as it is the case with the Empire, it takes all of their troops, right? Really all about the combined arms working together. Nice Burning Head just rips across the line here for some leadership debuffs. And the Famir are not too happy. The Miststalkers took a lot of damage there. They're continuing to take more damage. Shaman comes over and is disrupting the Free Company, but evidently left on guard mode, they're able to still continue firing as he, you know, kicks some of them in the face. Gonna axe that guy a question. But the rest of them are like, don't worry about that guy, boys. Just keep shooting. Just keep shooting. We'll get the Mammoth down eventually. Some more Knights charging. Nice downhill charge there. Man, it's such a beautiful game. Mir routing over the hill in the background. Yes, the Knights all running for the hills. Terror is a real issue. And it looks like the Free Company actually advancing now as the Knights screen out the Shaman Sorcerer. They can, of course, fire while advancing, but Karl chasing off a handful of Marauders there. Needs to come back up and around. Although, Free Company might just end it here. This is the ultimate, like, you're a dude with a cutlass, you know, maybe a side sword and a pistol. You're getting charged by a mammoth, and oh man, here comes the Miststalkers. Oh, that's terrifying. The Shaman Sorcerer did get routed, and they just about routed Wulfric there, but not quite. What kind of the... What's the reverse Last Samurai? Anyway. Carl, though, should be able to finish things off. He comes in with the Pistoliers, of course. Pistoliers clutching it out, as always. Gonna help shatter those Berserkers there. Wulfric routes. There's something still left for Norska. I guess these Famir. Norska hands in the towel, though. As all it was going to take is Spears to form up and Carl to get a little side charge, and the Famir would have been done. But very, very close game between these two. Big thanks to SpudHouse for just sending that one in, and also for his patronage as well. Awesome replay. Nice use of Free Company. One of them doesn't quite pay for themselves, but still, you know, the extra leadership damage and pulling Nils kind of forces apart, and him having to allocate resources chasing them was enough. And one of them more than double their damage value at the end of the day from getting really, really good work done on Wulfric. And it doesn't take much. And at that cheap of a price, you can take quite a few of them, and it only takes a few of them to pay off, right? So Carl getting hammered, but also getting some damage in as well. Knights of the Blazing Sun, awesome in this matchup. Pistoliers also do a fantastic job. Great job there to SpudHouse for the Pistolier play. For Nils, Wulfric obviously just absolutely cleaning house. Not quite enough to win the battle, but still, Berserkers also do a great job. Super cost effective. Marauder Horsemen, likewise. The Armored Skin Wolves were the main kind of lost value here in that they didn't really put out all that much damage. Knights of Blazing Sun are a direct counter for them, which is why you don't see Skin Wolves a ton in this matchup. But yeah, Free Company Militia, they're awesome. Matchups, I would say, Vampire Counts is one that, you know, if they can protect themselves reasonably well against zombies. Same thing against Skaven, too. They are somewhat vulnerable to, like, charges, for example. And shock damage, like that low leadership. Only 55 leadership's not amazing. And it's interesting because there's not a lot of, like, great comparisons. You could potentially compare them to another kind of Vanguard 90-unit model ranged unit. Ungol Raiders have stock, though, and they are more of a pure... I say pure range. They actually only have 25 more range, so maybe this is a pretty decent comparison here. Great company, significantly more HP, even more leadership armor, just better stats all around. Of course, they don't have this Primal Fury, which does give a little bit of an extra edge to the Ungol Raiders, but no stock. Ungol Raiders do have longer range and slightly less damage, actually, overall. Wow, 1 AP less. Literally same base missile damage, but 1 AP less. That is very interesting to me. So Free Company can largely be seen as like Ungol Raiders without Arc of Fire and stock. And I am a huge fan, as you guys know, of Ungol Raiders. Granted, it's a little different with the Beastmen because you don't have any other options to go with, whereas, again, with Empire, you've got like Huntsmen, Crossbowmen, Handgunners, Archers, all these guys. You've got all these different missile infantry to choose from. So in terms of a comparison to its own roster, like again, against factions which are going to have low-tier summons, like Skaven or Vampire Counts, they're a nice missile tool to have. Both of these matchups as well, they may bring a couple of high armor units, but likely, like their monsters for Skaven, are likely to be potentially these lower armor monsters here. Like maybe they bring a Doom Wheel, in which case you have hopefully the tools to deal with that. But like Vampire Counts, again, you really stop and think about it, like 80 armor on a Goose is okay, but it's not amazing. Vargulfs only have 40 armor, right? So in all actuality, like Mortis engines as well, 40 armor. Vampire Counts, not a lot of heavy armor monsters. Since that's kind of the primary target you're likely to be shooting at with those Free Company, that's another matchup where they can potentially work out okay. Yeah, just a volume matchup as well. Maybe like Tomb Kings, because they have the stats to fight undead. They can also shoot. I've used them pretty good effect against Tomb Kings, and maybe even Coast. Yeah, in fact, one of my like most memorable games, I think it was like 4 Huntsmen, maybe 5 Huntsmen, 5 Free Company, and a Vanguard against Coast, which was hilarious and a lot of fun. But anyway, I'm rambling now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. See you next time.